Gullah Jack, aka Counter Jack, aka Gullah Jack Pritchard, was an African conjurer and Methodist with Gullah Geechee ancestry. He was famously known for being a main co-conspirator to Denmark Vesey during his slave rebellion. His date of birth is unknown, but he was a short man with bushy sideburns who was known locally as the man who can't be killed. This may have been because of the reputation he had as a powerful root doctor. He had the power to heal or the power to poison. Take your pick. He was also skillful at creating powerful amulets against evil. Gullah Jack was of Angolan origin. He was located in Zanzibar at the time he was shipped to the Americas under Zephaniah Kingsley. In 1812, Seminoles raided the Kingsley plantation. Gullah Jack took this opportunity to escape to Charleston, South Carolina. It was here that he was bought by Paul Pritchard, who was a planter, slave trader, and merchant. Gullah Jack's name was cemented in history after meeting Denmark Vesey at the AME Church in Charleston. Vesey recruited Gullah Jack to be one of the main co-conspirators to a rebellion he was planning. Gullah Jack in return recruited African-born slaves as soldiers in the rebellion. Gullah Jack, being the conjurer man that he was, used his spiritual powers to compel others to keep quiet about the plans. He also provided the group with charms to protect themselves against the whites. The plot was for the slaves to take over the armory in order to supply the rural and sea island slaves with enough firepower to assist with the revolt. Killing as many whites as possible, the slaves were to capture the city of Charleston. From that point, they would use the city ships to sail to Haiti and be free of white rule. In the end, the plot was leaked by coerced confession. Gullah Jack was captured July 5, 1822, and along with 130 others were arrested. During this trial, he was accused of bewitching his accusers by making motions and designs with his fingers. Gullah Jack, Denmark Vesey, and 34 other leading co-conspirators were hanged on July 12, 1822. However, the part he played in the 1822 slave rebellion should never be forgotten. He is one of the many Gullah Geechee cultural icons and heroes.
Many people are looking for different ways to de-stress.
That includes some alternative treatments.
Everyone is trying to find their way to health, but not all of those ways are effective.
Kevin Anthony Johnson and his partner Ava St. Clair traveled from Chicago to check out Inception in Farmington Hills.
It offers different circuit training that focuses on wellness options, including flotation therapy, a holistic spa, and whole body exercise programs.
Inception is not a gym for working out, it's a gym for working inward. One, we use a lot of alternative-based technologies, and these technologies are non-medical. They're more about general wellness and holistic care.
It's just very relaxing for me, and I'm someone who suffers from anxiety, so to have something that's exact opposite of that energy to kind of calm me down and put me in a place where I'm not really thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow or in the future is really nice.
I like that concept. It's not working out, it's working inward.
Yeah.
Inception first opened in 2016. It reopened during the pandemic.
right. Let me know if you can hear me. I hope you guys are still here. If you are, I appreciate you. Let me know if you can hear me in the background. Give me a number one in the chat if you can hear me. Give me a number one in the chat. Please, please, with extra cheese. Whoever's still on, whoever's still rocking, let me know if we knocking. Because that's important. Okay. Maybe everybody bounced, and I can appreciate that. You don't want to be on the show if you don't know if it's continuing to happen. But we'll get to the main event of why we came this evening. So we will do what we need to do. Thank you for joining the show. So you guys know when we ever seen we ever seen the give me 1 second, people. I'm trying to bring this up so I can show you guys what's popping. Okay, great. All right, I got it. So now we were here tonight for we here tonight for this. Are the ancestors rolling again? Because them folks haunting them folks until they get out. And of course, you see the folks from the movie Get Out that represent the ancestors and the games that them peoples was playing with them while they were, just trying to strive for freedom, justice, and equality and moving on. And they got caught up in a deadly game of steal the body, courtesy of them folks. You know what I mean? You ever wonder why white fragility is scared of melanated revenge for historical atrocities? You know what I mean? That's what we're dealing with tonight. Hey, peace, bro. What's going on with you, man?
Peace, family. How you?
Hey, man, going through it, man. The gremlins are out tonight, brother. My whole volume was compromised a minute ago.
Yeah, see, man, my brother James Peters was saying, that it was out. So he had hit me up. So then we both hit you on the text, on the show text.
Yeah, on the chat. Yeah, I appreciate that, man, because sometimes, I'll be rocking and I'm depending on the system to kind of be consistent. And, from time to time, it does what it wants to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because he tried to hit you up through the Facebook, but for some reason he wasn't getting in too, because he was trying to, I guess, use the link through Facebook to jump on, but something was up.
Like I mean, you guys can continue to do that. If anybody, just for anybody out here who is watching and wants to rock, we're blasting off the 5 Facebook channels, and we're blasting off the YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Mob Crush, D Live, Trovo Nation, where everywhere you want to be. We are the Real HD Show.
Indeed.
From time to time, we have technical difficulties on the many shows that we do, and we want to make sure that we bring you the latest in information so that you could be fearless, you could be out there prepared and not running scared. So tonight, so you guys can go through Facebook, use the chat feature, and it conglomerates all of those internet sites, all those social media sites, and it makes all the comments available to me through one comment stream, and I can see it all, pull it up, execute it. The only ones I can't do is Mob Crush, D Live, Trovo Nation, because those are kind of out of the bounds for the way that the technology is created. Like Twitter participates with Twitch, Twitch participates with Instagram, Instagram participates with WhatsApp and Facebook. So it's all kind of one kind of neat knit thing. So I'm able to share it all. You still there, brother?
Yep.
Yeah, man. So I'm just letting the people know what's popping. What do you think of the water tax, man? What do you think of this water tax that's about to pop off? The EPA is telling that people are going to have to pay more money for tap water. Tap water. I'll enlarge it and read it again because that's where we were. In exchange for clean water, people around the nation may soon have to pay hefty prices. Water systems are starting to warn residents of massive hikes as they prepare to install technology to filter out toxic chemicals in a family known as forever chemicals. That's what PFAA stand for. They stand for forever chemicals. Utilities companies from Florida all the way to upstate New York, where I'm at, have been warned customers that they could see significant price increases after the EPA mandated they would remove forever chemicals, which has been linked to a number of cancers, diseases from their systems. And that's when I went ahead and showed the baby from Flint, Michigan, and what's going on with them. You got Jackson, Mississippi. You got places in B-More going through it. Shout out to all my cousins in B-More. So that pissed me off. So I had to go and do that to make sure my people's in B-More are aware of what's popping. What's your thoughts, man? You willing to pay more for this crappy water or what?
New World Water make the tide ride high.
Hey, shout out to Yassine Bey. That brother was, he had on his genie hat when he put that one together.
Jeez, did he? He was way ahead of his time, bro. Because we was there now when he first dropped that as a poem.
Yes, I was still in New York. I was still in the city at the time. That was like 99, 2000, somewhere in there, right?
Yeah, no. But you know what I'm saying is that, and we're gonna get back to the article. But you might have. I wonder if you was there that night when he first dropped it at Nassau as a poem, a cappella. Oh, that wasn't the night that we got you guys with the U-Haul truck. All right.
Oh, wait. Was that the night when De La was there?
No, that's the one we got you guys for.
You got us for a couple of things.
Yeah, we got you for a few.
Which one? I'm trying to rake the mental Rolodex so I could get. But continue with your wisdom, bro. Go ahead.
It's all good. But yeah, he got on stage at Nassau and dropped New World Water as a poem. A cappella. Even when he ran it that night, we knew that was gonna be a song, and we were just amazed. We was like, "Yo, how is this brain wired that way?" And guess what? It was like he had a prophetic moment. You know what I'm saying? Now we're talking about taxes on cleaner water that comes through the pipe. In Trinidad, they call water government juice because it's supposed to be the free juice of the land.
I remember that. Yeah, my grandmother used to speak that way. And, I wasn't born and raised in Trinidad, but my grandmother's from there. And certain ways that she would, describe the stuff would just be totally alien to me. So I feel you on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. It's supposed to be government juice, the free water, the government's juice to you. Free juice. You know what I mean? And yeah, now look what Mos Def talked about. Them charging in bottles and stuff, and now they want to add on a tax to what comes through the regular pipes. No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's starting to feel like a scam.
Yes. It's called the Hegelian dialectic, and it's a theoretical process where the elites or the authority in charge, the macro principalities, create the problem and then sell you the solution.
Man, I tell you, boy.
And we've been through a lot of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've been through a lot of that. A couple years ago. You can say what you want. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the, just the macro.
Yeah, and I get it. Yeah.
They can say what they want.
Right.
But I believe they created a problem and sold us a solution in the manner of that secret sauce that they was pushing on everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to belittle anybody who was brave enough to go under that instrument, but I believe that they created a problem and sold us a solution. I truly believe that. Truly, truly. And I believe a lot of folks got rich off of it, you know, and I lost about 4 or 5 people that were near and dear and I love tremendously in that regard. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What say you?
I'm letting it marinate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, let's get to what we're here for tonight, man, because that was our AAT report. I don't know if you saw at the beginning of it where we were talking about a mental health gym in Detroit. So D-Town, shout out to D-Town. They had they have just a place called Inception, melanated company, or at least melanated staff at the moment.
Okay.
And they run a mental health gymnasium where they put you through different practices, aromatherapy, mental health checkups to make sure that you're good, to make sure that you are mentally sound. And if you need to woo-saw or you need to just get back on your square, you absolutely can. So shout out to everybody in the D rocking with Inception. Would you try something like that at some point if it came to New York?
I mean, it sounds like something I would try, you know?
Yeah.
Sounds like something I would try. Now, okay, so this is for, how could I say? And it's no disrespect. I work in the business, you know, of mental health, right? So is it for like what they would consider mental health patients? Was this something, because I wasn't on at that point. So is this something for like just people in general that feel like they need to get a mental vacation and get back to the roots of, physical health along with spiritual health for mental health?
Yeah, it's more along the lines of the latter that you
Okay,
mentioned.
copy that. Okay.
Yeah, it's for people who are pretty good, but of course we all walk that 6 degrees of separation where our mental health is kind of teetering. That PTSD that's handed down from our families is have us teetering on some on some level of sickness, and we just want to get right. We want to de-stress, decompartmentalize, make sure we're good, get that TLC. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you just need that. Maybe you need a calming scent. Maybe you need some relaxing music that strikes your frequency, or just does it for you in that regard. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's kind of really all you need to recharge the engines, get going, and be there for yourself and your loved ones the way you need to be. You know?
Yeah. In other words, unplug from the matrix, but a little more constructively at that.
Right. They giving you that little individual attention, and then they put some measurements, some diodes on you, and they measure some things like stress levels, sleep levels, things, health levels, heart, oxygen capacity, things like that, that ultimately determine mental health from a physiologically standpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would be pro that, definitely. I believe I'd be pro that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I next time we get on the show on Monday, I'm gonna look up and I'm going to get into what that means for our people and see how many locations are that company Inception has. Do they have a location in New York, or do they have any copycat style businesses that do the very same thing? Because I think it's really, really vital, especially now with stagflation and all of the other crazy ism schisms that we deal with, that we maintain a healthy outlook and a healthy mental health report. So I know due to those technical gremlins, and I know too that was a really long AAT report. Didn't mean to go that long. So we're gonna forego our Lit City report, and we're gonna get right into, we'll do Lit City on Monday. We're gonna get right into our title topic, which is, are the ancestors rolling again, haunting them folks till they get out? Hey, brother Godspeed, man, you remember Get Out, right? Did you happen to see that movie?
I remember that.
Yeah. And it was seminal work by a powerful brother, Jordan Peterson. And the reason why I call him powerful is because he is taking the cinematic art form and telling our narrative through the cinematic art form. And I think it's powerful. What do you think of Jordan Peele's movies?
Oh, I think his movies are phenomenal,
Yeah,
and they have a very abstract nature to them,
yeah.
and heavily spiritual, cultural base to it too.
He kind of, I don't know if he looks up to Spike Lee, but he's from the Spike Lee school of conscious cinematography.
Yes.
He kind of goes, in my opinion, he kind of is on the end of being a little more creative with it. Spike is more direct and in your face, whereas he is more story oriented, and his stories have unique twists to them
Right.
that I think is, super important for our people and super important for the world to see, so that they know, and our stories are documented and told in a way that's, important to us. So yeah, so he did the movie Get Out, and it featured some people who were already dead, but their bodies were taken over by, some real clandestine white people, and they were using the consciousness of their, loved ones and implanting it in the body of these people and reanimating them from the dead.
Yeah, that movie was. I saw the movie once. It's one of those flicks I didn't want to get tired of it, so I said, "Let
Yeah,
me check it once, and I'm gonna check it, every couple of years or so."
yeah.
It's a, that's a
The
deep
movie,
movie.
his other movie, Us, was very similar to that.
Okay, you know what's crazy? I didn't get to see Us as yet. I saw that other one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I saw the other one. I forgot the name of the other one. But I didn't see Us as yet.
yeah. Us is dope. And now he's doing the movie on Prime,
Hmm.
Amazon Prime, called Them, and that series is super powerful, bro. If you haven't seen Them,
Uh-huh.
please check it out because it's
So
talking
that's
about
that's off and rocking already. That's showing already.
them. Yeah, they on the second season.
Okay, I'm about to check that out.
Yeah, that show is powerful, man. Powerful.
I'm gonna check that out.
It details the now that I'm seeing the way he's doing it, because each season is going to be a different historical paradigm with
Mm.
a
With them.
melanated narrative within it, and it's
Mm.
fire. So he originally talked about the gentrification era in I believe it was the 1940s and the 50s, when
Mm.
Compton was just starting to become desegregated,
Okay.
and what they put the people through who moved into an all-white Compton, California neighborhood. And they put it in it. They he has a twist to the series, so I'm not going to give too much more away.
I got you.
The movie Them, though, is very apropos and very focused on the topic that we're talking about tonight,
Okay.
which is the ancestors, right?
Mhm.
And taking over the consciousness of bodies. So there's this joint I want to show you. It's a video. It's a good look. So give it about 3-4 minutes. Stay with us. I'm gonna put it on in a sec, and it's gonna talk about the Gullah Geechee people and the Huntai. Have you ever heard of that? The Henty or the Huntai? Have you ever heard of that with the Gullah Geechee people
I know of the
and
Gullah Geechee people, the
the
natives
Buhags?
of the Carolinas, of the coast of
Yeah,
the Carolinas.
the skinless witches and the Buhags. Have you heard of them at all?
Not those terms, but I know of the Gullah Geechee.
Yeah, yeah. So it's all about that
Indigenous, they
population.
have indigenous roots. I mean, there's
Yes,
people who would
yes,
popularly say that they feel like those are straight up Africans that migrated over, but they got old. Let's just say they were, right? For say, right? Because I feel like I only know what they say, right? So I would say, hey, look, you know what? Not for nothing, they were some of the earliest ones to reach here, and they reached here on their own reconnaissance. They didn't come here chained up by
yes,
the neck. You know what I mean?
yes,
So,
yes,
in any regard, they are natives. They've been here long enough to be natives. Whether they came that, by way of ship on their own,
yes,
or, if the whole, I subscribe to the Pangea effect. You know what I mean? Or if they were on these lands when the great separations happened, you
Right.
know, generations and generations beyond. You know, however you want to frame it, they are natives, right?
Right.
So it is what it is, right? So I know of them from that perspective, you know.
Yes. Um.
And also too, real quick, super quick, because you
Mhm.
and I like to tie shows in sometimes. They spoke about them in the Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Apocalypto.
No, Patriot.
Oh, the Patriot movie. But they
Yeah,
also did you see Apocalypto?
I saw Apocalypto.
They spoke briefly about that with the Mayans as well.
I'm gonna have to watch Apocalypto again. I didn't catch
Yeah,
that.
watch Apocalypto because they talked about the Lenape.
Oh, word.
They talked
All
about
right.
the Lenape. Yes,
You know
sir.
what happened? You know what happened? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you straight what happened with me with that. That was before I came into those sciences. So I saw
Mm,
Apocalypto in the movie theater. And while
mhm.
I was just in there, like, oh man, I got to read all this. You know what I'm saying? That was my first subtitle movie.
Yeah, yeah,
So I didn't know it was a subtitle movie. You know what I mean? So when I walked in, I was like, oh man, I got to read all this. So I'm reading. I'll be honest, bro. I wasn't into those sciences yet. So
yeah,
maybe when I watch it now, I'm going to, you know, be like, oh, of course. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? Oh, of course. Indeed. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
okay. I'm going to take note of that. I'm going to check that out. But yeah, I remember before I got into the sciences of of the native roots, um, Patriot, the Patriot was the first movie I ever heard talk about the Galagichi and showed them, and what I would say is very close to their true form. You know,
Yes,
I don't know about
yeah,
their dress codes or whatever, but it was probably the indigenous people, original man, woman, and child. So
yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely. And
yo, check this
we'll take,
out.
go ahead.
Look in your lobby and see if James Peters is in there.
No,
No.
I see we have a lot of people, and thank you for everybody watching on Twitch.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you for
send him a link.
everybody watching on Twitter, Facebook, EAD, because they be fronting like they not watching the show, and then they'll watch the show
Mhm.
later on when they need
Right.
to get down with me live. So everybody on Facebook, the EAD, if y'all know what EAD means, get with me after the show if you got beef. I don't care. Because y'all be fronting. Y'all be acting like y'all can't get on here and rock out with a brother. But anyway,
Mhm. You know what
um,
I'm gonna send him the link myself.
yeah. No, he was on for a minute, and then he told me about the audio issue. I
Yeah.
went out. I
I
had to
just sent
restart
it
my
to
whole
him.
computer. By the way,
Hmm.
that was
Indeed.
crazy, man. You know these expensive laptops, man. They tell you
Yeah.
they make you think like it's the whole answer for the riddle, and it becomes the riddle. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So I want to feature. Oh, and what I wanted to tell you about the Lenape
Hmm.
is, did you see that article about how? Oh yeah, he's on now.
Hmm.
I got him on. Hey, peace, brother James. What's going on with you, bro?
Everything is good, brother. Peace, peace.
Hmm.
Oh, this Rube. What's going on with you, bro?
Everything is cool, bro.
Thank you for the update on the sound, though, man. I worked it out. It was lovely.
Yes. All right. Yeah.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome, brother.
Yeah, man. I see. I like your your avatar with the Kendrick piece.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know
Yeah,
it's gem
yeah,
season. It's gem season.
It
We in the
is gem
house.
season.
yeah. That's what's up. Shout out to all them gems out there. Y'all rock out.
You
Good
know
True
what's
people,
indeed.
crazy? You
brilliant
know,
people, man. Brilliant people too. You know.
Give
indeed,
thanks. Give
indeed,
thanks.
Yes, sir.
indeed.
Yes, sir. So we're talking about. We're here tonight for this.
Hmm.
Are the ancestors rolling again? Haunting them folks until they get out. So we were talking about how in the movie Get Out, people want to pop motorbikes in the middle of my show. You know what I mean? I'm gonna drop kick somebody in a second. But anyway,
Yes, sir.
you know that's that city living, man. You don't know what's gonna pop out. But anyway, so we talking about Get Out. We talking about how Jordan Peterson's brilliant work about the delectable Negro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And about how they try to insert the consciousness of these YT folks, these palm-colored folks, into the brilliant bodies of these melanated folks who were ancestors at the time, and they couldn't even rest because they were being used and abused, like the history so dictates in so many terrifying ways. But what I wanted to talk about though was a kind of juxtaposition, and I wanted to talk about show a clip real quick about the Gullah Geechee people and the Buhag. Are you familiar with that, bro?
Yeah, the Gullah Geechee. Yeah, I'm very familiar with them.
You familiar with the Buhag and the skinless witches?
Not too sure about that, but I know who the Gullah Geechee tribe is.
Yes, sir.
I even met the queen in Harlem when she came to Harlem.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. I wish I was there. But what we're gonna get into tonight, though, is we're gonna get into a clip of what was the name of it? Let me make sure I got it, because it sparked me. Because so there was a sister's YouTube channel, and I'm gonna try to put it on now. Give me 1 second, people. Because what she said in her clip, I'll just talk about it. I won't put that on because I want to get to what the Gullah Geechee people did. So it was a sister, and she's a HHA, right? She's a home health aide, right? And she works in elder care, hospice care, as so many of our sisters do, looking for employment. Not the best work, but it's work, right? And it pays the bill. So she was talking about treating this white man down, it was down south, and she was treating this white man who was like 90-something years old. And he had a journey that features some relatives of his that were older, and there was a baby that he had bore through raping a sister during the Jim Crow era.
Okay.
And the baby was taken by his brothers because his mother found out. And of course, they had a plantation. The mother found out. The brothers found out, and they threw the baby in the nearby lake, and they drowned the baby. And then the sister that was raped by the white man, they killed the husband in the cornfield, whatever field it was, and they left him there to die. And I believe what happened was they eventually took his body and threw it in the water as well. And then what happened as this man became an elder, and his channels began to open up, his conduits, his chakras, if you will, began to open up to the ancestral realm. He began to be haunted by the energy of the people that he was indebted to because of his actions. And she told her firsthand account of, the man was terrified. He used to cover up all the mirrors in his room, all the mirrors in his bathroom. What else do I remember about the clip so I don't have to show it? Because it was rather long. I was going to show a little bit of it, but I want to get to the Buhags. And the man he used to scream and yell for the orderlies like almost every night for about maybe 2 or 3 weeks up until the time that he passed. So like clockwork, she would come on her shift. He's screaming, going crazy, running to the room. Now, he wasn't diagnosed with dementia. He wasn't diagnosed with Alzheimer's. He wasn't diagnosed with any mental deficiencies. Now, granted, he was 90. So, of course, some of that might have been in play undiagnosed. But just the fact that that was the way it was. So one night, she goes into the room. She's on a shift. He calls her. She's going through her HHA steps to treat someone of his age and his ilk, because he was one of them. He wanted them. Get off my lawn, old man. Oh, get off my grass. Real ornery, real angry older man who made a lot of bad decisions in his life and regrets a lot and just grew older being bitter. Long story short, she's in there trying to calm him down. Sat down with him for maybe 5 hours, almost like trying to rock a baby to sleep. He finally calms down. He finally leaves the room. She goes back. She does her other rounds, comes and hears like sees like a light under his door, comes back in the room. All the mirrors are. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me not leave something out. When he screamed for help, he fell on the floor and injured his hip. So at that particular time, when you got an elder and they injured their hip, they pretty much on the clock, right? Because once you can't move and circulate, that really inhibits your health.
Yeah.
So long story short, after she leaves him from calming him down and serving him, she sees a light under his door. She comes back. All of the mirrors are uncovered. The room is freezing, like it's a freezing temperature, where she says she could see her breath in the room, and the man is dead. Man is dead. And she said she looked in one of the mirrors and saw like a blurry vision in the distance, which looks like a larger figure and a smaller figure, kind of like adjacent to one another, almost like standing next to each other. And then when she finally cuts the lights on in the room to verify if someone was in the room with her, nothing. So she equated that during her video with the energy of the people that he was in debt to came back to visit dude and terrified him into him dying and passing. So I said, let me do some more research on this to find out if this is just like sensationalism. Is it sensationalism or is there any credence to this, right? So I'm gonna show a video from a brother real quick. Now I've been talking about it a lot. And then I want to get you two brothers and anybody else who's listening right now, I want to get you guys opinions on the video.
Like the doors or around the...
Let me start it over.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings...
Sorry about that.
Haunting history. A haint is the Gullah term for haunt, and it can refer to a spirit or ghost who may be evil or maleficent. For the Gullah people in the southeastern United States, these ghostly spirits and the methods to repel them hold a great deal of cultural significance. The Gullah community is made up of Black Americans whose ancestors came from enslaved communities in southeast states, along with the Atlantic Plains and the islands found just off the coast of these areas. These communities can also be called the Gullah Geechee, or just Gullah, or Geechee, depending on if they reside on the coastal areas of South Carolina or Georgia. The Gullah community's unique culture and language is due in part to physical isolation. These enslaved people were forced primarily from Sierra Leone and Liberia to the American Southeast and developed their own distinct culture that remained especially close to its African roots. Dating back to the 1700s, the Gullah were known for their expertise in growing and harvesting rice, cotton, and indigo. The Gullah are often found in farming and fishing communities still today, and are also known for making and using Africanized goods, like walking sticks and baskets. Buhag can vary depending on who you ask. Blue was also called Buhag blue, named for an especially that the Haints mistook the blue paint. The Gullah would use the indigo plants they harvested to create Haint blue paint, which was then coated around the entryways of the home, like the doors, or around the windows. It was believed that the Haints mistook the blue paint for water, which they were unable to cross over. Haint blue was also called Buhag blue, named for an especially terrifying kind of haint. As is the case with many stories passed down from generation to generation, the description of a Buhag can vary depending on who you ask. But there is a general consensus that a Buhag could have a ruinous effect on the lives of its victims. They're typically described as a type of witch, possibly conjured up by means of voodoo. They can be entirely invisible, detectable only by a pungent smell. They could also have the appearance of a human without skin, covered instead with tendons, muscles, and bone. A boo hag can enter a home if the windows and doors are left open at night. Once a victim is found inside, a boo hag will bridle and ride the energy of the victim, hovering just above them as they sleep, leaving them feeling sick and drained upon waking. The bad energy left behind from the boo hag could linger on the skin of the victim and impact their lives with bad luck or illness. Victims of a skinless boo hag may meet a worse fate. They could have their skin stolen. The boo hag would wear the skin, masquerading as the victim and slipping into their place undetected, stealing their very lives. In some legends, boo hags would target men only, destroying their life energy, while women remained healthy and strong. In other tellings, anyone and everyone could be made a victim. In Gullah.
All right. So I don't want to take that and have that too long. I want to get you brothers' opinions on this. Have you guys ever heard of that? And any I know this is more of an urban legend or of a, like, you know, a kind of, you know, wives' tale or old myth, if you will. But I wanted to dig a little deeper into this and find out, because I found over 2,000 inferences for this in my research, and I wanted to get more deeply into it. I wanted to break it down to its very last compound, because then we could talk about Dick Gregory and what he talked about when he talked about hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean and the power of hydrocarbons. So I don't want to get too far into that yet, but I want to get you brothers' opinions on that. What do you guys think?
See how that sound? A little irrational.
Ah, you know how to take it there.
You know what? My quick take is people have their belief system, and my thing is more like whatever keep people in a righteous accord with other people. You know what I mean? So on the serious side, that's what I say to that, because, you know, in the places that I've been, from here to Trinidad, you know, New York to Trinidad, I bumped into a lot of people that believe in a lot of things. You know what I mean? Now, is their reality my reality? Not all the time. Not all the time. And I have my own personal belief system too. You know, things that happen for me, the way it happens. You know what I mean? And I'm not expecting somebody else to subscribe to it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say that I personally won't say that I can subscribe to that. I've never been around it to see it manifested or anything like that. So that's what I'm going to say on that. But respect to those that, if that helps them stay in a righteous accord, so be it.
Okay. Hey, Rue, have you ever heard of anything like that? Have you ever come across any inferences to that? And what did you think of the video? You still with us?
I wonder if he's on mute.
No, he's not on mute, but he might have kind of. Oh, okay. There you go, bro.
Let's see. On stream, it popped in and popped out.
Yeah, I got him on here, and his audio is on, so I'm not quite sure what, you know. Maybe if he wants to go back out and come back in, then maybe the audio would be a little more.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah.
I would like to rap in the meantime till he get on to drop his freestyle on it, because I would like to get his take on it. You see, like, okay, in Trinidad, they talked about Lagahu, Yaja Bless, Mr. Nobody, Duan, you know, the Duppy.
Yep.
So I knew people that hardcore believed in this, for real.
Yeah,
like, real talk. You know what I mean? Like, real talk. It don't matter how much church they go to. May they have been Seventh-day Adventists down the street, or down the road, as we used to say, or Roman Catholic, or Baptist. But they used to have these side beliefs too, along with that, you know. So it was like a mishmash of different beliefs mixed up together. You know what I'm saying? So, like, okay, like if me and my cousin coming up up the road, I'm gonna talk like that. If we coming up the road, right, and he see like some glowing things in a tree, he runs and leaves me because I don't believe in it, but he's running.
All right.
Right.
Yeah. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. You know,
Well,
from my travels, huh?
Godspeed was in the middle, so let him
Oh,
finish
yeah,
up,
yeah, true
and
indeed.
then
Go
you can
ahead,
jump
bro.
right in.
Yeah, I'm passing him the baton after this because he could expound. But yeah, my cousin ran up the street, son, and left me there because the fireflies were in the tree, and he thought it was like Elijah Bless, Duane, Duppy, some one of them.
Right.
So I'm
All
gonna
right.
pass the mic to James.
Whatever superstitions of the region, right? I feel you.
Exactly. Expound. Go ahead,
Yeah.
James.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, every culture has these types of things, brother.
Yes.
I'm not gonna knock any culture's belief system. I don't subscribe to it. This particular thing, I don't subscribe to because I'm not from that region.
Right.
My brother just was talking about sound like he's talking about Trinidad folk tales. In Trinidad, we call them folk tales.
Yes.
And these are things that people used in time before. Because, all right, just so you could kind of understand, I heard him say Laja Bless. Laja Bless is what people here might call a Yeti, right?
Yeah.
And Laja Bless is able to speak whatever language you speak, let's just say, right? It sounds like a human, but it's a Yeti, right? And personally, I think Laja Bless took place in Grenada and extended over into Trinidad because back then it was mainly rainforest. Our islands was rainforest, and we chopped into it and laid house. So, to stop the children from wandering off, I mean, things I've seen on National Geographics, I've come face to face with in my life. So, we was living in the middle of National Geographics. So you could just imagine, you know what I mean? We had many different species of monkeys. It is definitely noted in Trinidad that many people have shot monkeys because they thought they were Laja Bless, or just another human, that's trying to attack them, and these were probably howler monkeys or, because we had large ones. Most of them are dead now, because of the ignorance of human beings. But I've heard it all. Been in Ghana, Ghanaians, they have it. You know what it comes down to, brother? Chinese, we Chinese as well. It seems like every culture creates boogeymen.
Yep.
And because so I'm gonna sound like I'm putting my way of life out there. I don't see life the way others see life. And for me, my understanding, people could say I'm selfish with it. Whatever. Knowledge of self is for self. So that's how
Continue, bro.
I
I just
hold it.
gotta grab something. 1 second.
Yes. Do you want me to continue adding on? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh. So, all right. So for me, the mind is not located in your skull. That's number one. So
I like where you're going with that.
Gullah Geechee people, this is their culture. This is how they see. This is their life experiences. Want to experience that, but guaranteed, I know me, I could go there and live a lifetime, and that would never be my experience, because my understanding is the mind is not located in the skull. We are in the mind. So as you
Right,
see it
exactly.
is how you believe it.
Yes.
What you
Yes.
know is.
Yes.
And human beings have yet to really come upon that. That's why they still believe in coincidences. Um, this is why you have the different degrees in society. You have the 9 to 5er, you have the owner, you have the overseer, you have the overseer, because whatever you want to be, how you want to live, it's all up to you. It's how you think. How you think is going to be how you perceive. How you perceive is how you're going to live.
Yes, sir.
So, you're feeding these folk tales. Yeah, they're going to see something eventually. They're going to come in contact with something, because they don't know and understand that the mind is universal. It's not personal. Your perspective is personal, but the mind is universal. So as you think it, it is. So if
Yes.
you believe in boogeymen, they're going to be there. You're
Right.
going to see them.
As a thinker thinketh, the prover will prove. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's what it is for me. So it don't, I'll give you an example of something, right? Because we're talking about Gullah Geechee. So the Asante, who are called the Maroons in Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
one of their tactics that they used to use is they knew shrubbery. So they would make, um, they would take shrubbery and make a suit.
Mm-hmm.
So the pirates that used to land in Jamaica, right?
Mm-hmm.
They used to come with these stories. They say the forest moves in Jamaica, so they would never go up in the hills. Originally, they used to be scared to go in the hills. So the explorer type European came and was like, "Oh, that's rubbish. That's just talk." So when they started going into inner parts of Jamaica, and they have accounts where they've written and they said, "Oh, Jamaica is haunted because the trees come to life and kill people." They even say that the trees kill and devour people because they wouldn't find the bodies of their fellow compadres anymore. You know, in a modern time now, you come to find out what the people were doing. They were using, it's a rainforest, so they're using the surroundings as a strategy, as camouflage. So they
Right.
know what shrubbery to use that wouldn't have give them rashes or whatever, and they would make up these let's say suits, for the lack of a better term, and put it on and get in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you from the outside, especially if night is falling, you're gonna see a tree, you're gonna see a bush, but it's a human in there.
Mm-hmm.
It comes down like a perfect example of what I'm talking about. If you ever seen the Run Run Shaw, Five Elemental Ninjas, Five Deadly Venoms. We no,
Yes.
not Five Deadly Venoms, five, the Super
The
Ninjas,
Chinese
right?
super ninjas.
Yeah.
Chinese Super Ninjas,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I remember that. Yep. Yep.
There's the forest. There's the
Yeah.
forest scene
Yes.
where
He was
they were in the
camouflaged to the
trees.
tree. Yep.
Same thing.
Yep.
But
Yep.
we were doing it in real time, you
Yep.
know?
Yeah.
So, people create theories based on what they can't explain,
Right.
you know? So I do think that the Gullah Geechee people and the people of that region that believe in that, yeah, that happens to them. But me or you, it's never going to happen to us
Yeah. Of course. Of course.
until we enter that space of the mind and decide that we're going to live and see life the way they live and see life. Then we'll have their experiences. But other than that, before that time, we'll never experience that.
Yes, sir. So make no mistake about it. We know that this is chronicles of folks who we like to call dumb, deaf, and blind, people who aren't as astute to, the sciences of, and the mathematics of, animism and naturalities, meduneter, the things that the natural sciences of the planet and how they coincide with human beings. The reason why I picked this topic was because after looking at that video, it was almost 5,000 responses with people agreeing as such to that sort of thing. So I wanted, so it kind of blew me away that even in this day and age, with all of the, written lit from our ancestors who have debunked this stuff, or at least have explained away this stuff in a way that could be palatable to people. I mean, we all grew up in New York, and we've been to the city, and we've been to the lectures, and we've dealt with the brilliant minds that have enlightened us and gave us knowledge of self. So we know these things aren't like these things aren't actually real. They may be some sort of other cultural, scientific way to explain what you're going through. But to people who are not that well educated, we know that these things are very real for them. You know what I mean? And I wanted to kind of, and my show is aimed at debunking things like this and making sense of it so that people can move on and be armed with the information they need to live full lives. You know what I mean?
So can I give you
yeah, go ahead, brother.
Something that happened to
please.
Okay. So if we're talking about like extraordinary happenings, right? When I was a young teenager, my grandfather passed on, right? We had to wake in the house, right? And one night, well, the first night, because he did this 3 times. The first night, I heard my grandfather. So my cousin Larry was sleeping on his bed, right? I heard my grandfather walk out the room with a cane. My little cousin, peed on me because he got so scared. He heard my grandfather and he peed on me.
Yes, sir.
My Uncle Patrick was sleeping in the next bed. And, I'm like, Carlson, what the hell are you doing? And he's grabbing on me and he's just shaking, because he heard our grandfather, right?
Yeah.
Now, for me, I wasn't moved or nothing. I wasn't scared or nothing. Like, it takes a lot to really, get me going. Like, it is what it is. I that's just how I am. And I heard him walk past, and my uncle heard it too. Larry never heard it. I heard it, my uncle heard it, and Carlson, my little cousin, heard it. No one else in the house heard it. They heard our response to it. So Carlson was telling them, and the adults would tell him, "Oh, that's just your grandfather going to the bathroom," because that's where I heard him walk down, right? So, and in our culture, right? Real quick, this is a lengthy thing that I'm gonna try to make real short so you could kind of understand why my family members wasn't like, the adults wasn't really shooken up. So in our culture, we have a thing called carnival, right? Carnival now is watered down, right?
Of course.
It's really a spiritual, and I don't even like to use the word spiritual too much because people figure hocus pocus, but it was a ritual that we did annually every year to make sure that the people who passed on that year have a safe travel into the afterlife.
Yes.
So at this point, my grandfather would be in the house still. You understand? His body's there. He would be there, so it just makes sense, So to me, it just never anything to me. But one thing I could say, we all didn't want him to go. We all was focused on him, you know. So I think those who were locked in mentally, you know, in that part of the mind, we had that experience. And others who was in the same house, they didn't have that experience because they wasn't of a likeness, of a like mind. I'm gonna give you one more thing. This happened to me and my mom. My mom is in the next room. She could bear witness to this. My mom had moved back up from Trinidad, so I gave her the room. She didn't want to sleep in the room by herself, so I used to sleep on the floor, you know, by the door, right, until she got comfortable. So one morning, it happened about, I want to say maybe it's summertime, so maybe about 5:30. The sun is now coming up. Both of us is sound asleep, and we heard like a crazy car accident. It was like, like it sounded like everything got destroyed. I wake up, my mom wake up at the same exact time, right? And we both look at each other and we say, "Hey, you hear that?" You know? So I put on clothes immediately, thinking like I'm gonna have to go save somebody out their car because it sounded like it happened right here at the light. We both look outside, no cars in sight. I run down the stairs, thinking that it happened at the light at my corner because my building's on a corner. I go outside, no car in sight. Any which direction I look. I run down to the next corner, no cars, nothing on the road. I come back in the building. I say, "Ma, would you believe there's no cars on the road?" And she was like, "What?" You know? She said, "You heard that?" I said, "I heard it." You know? Me and my mom, our dreams crossed. We shared a dream. You know, we shared a dream. You know, and it was so bizarre for us because, you know, my family, for the lack of a better term, we're able to see ahead of time before we live it. We see it. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, sir.
And you know, with my mom, it was just so bugged out to us that, you know, I was like, "Ma, you know, do you want me to sleep in here tonight, or you want me to sleep out, you know, in the living room?" And she's like, "Maybe you sleep in the living room." I said, "All right, if you feel a way, just let me know. I'll come and sleep in the room with you. It's not a problem, you know." But both of us was like, for weeks, for months, we would periodically talk about it with each other, like, how did we do that? You know? But like I go back to it, the mind is universal. I can easily prove that to anybody, but the mind is universal, it's not personal. So me and my mom, our wavelengths was in harmony.
Yes, sir.
You know, at that point. Many times my mom, just now when I was walking in here, my mom said, "Boy, I was just thinking about you." And look, you walked through the door. As many times my mom tell me, "Hey, your spirit walk in here. I knew that was you coming there because your spirit walk in here before you walk in here." You know, but me and my mom, my, you know, my core family, my father, my mother, my brother, we're just tuned in that things like this happen with us, you know? But when people remove the concept of the mind being in the skull, everything else is going to clear up for them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, we are way past overtime because we were supposed to sign off at 9:30. We had some gremlins on the show. So I want to thank Brother Rule. I want to thank Brother Godspeed for y'all coming through and y'all blessing the show with y'all word. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Many, many blessings to you guys. And everybody watching on the show. And because we're gonna have to end it at this point, because if not, then we'll be going on to like almost a 3-hour show. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not, you know, that's not what we do on the Real HT show. So join us Monday when we're gonna do part 2 of this, where we get into the science, we get into the cultural mathematics of how all of this figures out, how we can solve this problem, how we get rid of this Hegelian dialectic. If you listen to the earlier part of the show, when Brother Godspeed and I was building on the Hegelian dialectic, you will know what we talk about, and we will solve this Rubik's Cube on Monday. Thank you, brothers. Much love and support to y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming on and spending y'all night with the Real HD Show. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, yes.
All right. Yes, same, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. So come, everybody that's watching right now, we rocking with about 300 people on right now. I appreciate everybody
Nice.
rocking. Please come back and come back with questions. Timestamp what you heard about the show, whether you like the clips, what part we talked about. Give us some comments, and I'm gonna say peace and walk with power, and we will see you guys on Moon Day. All right, y'all. Peace. Y'all be healthy.
All right. Peace.
Indeed.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
Be blessed.